one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
I'm coming. I promise you, on my life, I'm coming. From the first snap, man. From the first second. What are we gonna do, man? All back against the wall. All back is against the wall.
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I was about to say Monday Night Football. Thursday Night Football. The beginning of Week 5. It's in the books. It is in the books. Bucs in Atlanta taking on the Falcons. Week 5. Yo, before I get into the game, though, it was a great game. Overtime game. The return of Kirko, Chainz. You like that? Baker had a decent game. It was a good game. I'm going to get to the game in a second. But as I thought, I hope everybody having a good day, good afternoon, good night. Whichever point in time you listen to this, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you clicking on the show. I appreciate you clicking on the video. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I want to talk about something real quick though, because this game took place in Atlanta, and I couldn't help but think about the show that I am currently binge watching. But it's not really binge watching because all the episodes not out. Plus, I watch the episode every Thursday. Fight Night. I was going to say Friday Night Lights. Fight Night. The $1 Million Heist. What a show. Starring Samuel L. Jackson, Taraji P. Henson, Terrence Howard, Kevin Hart, Don Cheadle. I cannot think of the woman who, I don't know the woman's name who plays Maxine in the show, but she's doing a phenomenal job in her role. I cannot think of the, it's a lot of side characters like Frank, Samuel L. Jackson in the show, he played Frank Moten. His bodyguard, I can't think of his name, but he's doing a great job. Everybody's doing a great job. Just a cast of phenomenal black actors and actresses. A great show, great show. It's based on a real story, on a true story. The guy who played Muhammad Ali was probably the only, I don't want to say downside, but I'm gonna tell you what's funny. I asked my brother yesterday. I said, 'cause me and my brother love Parks and Rec. We don't watch that show we don't watch that every season, every episode of that show. More times than I can even count, to be completely honest with you. But I asked him the other night, I was like, what's everybody on Parks and Rec? Who is your least favorite character? And he said Jerry. And I was like, why is Jerry your least favorite character? And I know this is above some people's head. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about if you ain't never watched that show. But I was like, why would Jerry be your least favorite character? He was like, I said, why you don't fuck with Jerry? He was like, I fuck with Jerry. I said, no, you don't. I said, if he your least favorite character, you can't fuck with him. He said, he not my least favorite. I said, you just said he was your least favorite character. He said, I just said a name that came to the top of my head. So I said, so you didn't even care about the question. You just said a name that came to the top of your head. I said, so you don't even get a question. You don't even care about the question. I asked you that question, you went, it got deep. But anyways, basically I was telling him, though, it's so many characters on the show. If your least favorite character is Jerry, then that means you don't fuck with Jerry. Like, that's what it gotta mean. Because there's so many characters that if you don't fuck with Jerry, then that's gotta be your least favorite one. Y'all agree? Like, if you say your least favorite character on a show with about 15 characters, then you ain't fucking with him. That's just my personal opinion. But anyways, on the $1 Million Heist, I don't want to say that I don't fuck with the guy who played Muhammad Ali. I just done seen. I think the problem is I done seen so many different actors play Muhammad Ali, and the most recent person who played him, I can't remember the dude's name, but he played him in that in Regina King's pick. What was it? One Night in Vegas or something like that, like One Night in Atlanta or One Night in Vegas, something like that. With Malcolm X. Malcolm X was in the movie. Jim Brown was in the movie. Muhammad Ali was in the movie. And the guy who played Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, really, they all did a great job in their roles. But the guy who played Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali just murked it. So I think because that depiction of Muhammad Ali is so fresh in my head, I couldn't just watch this guy play Muhammad Ali and just appreciate it. I was kind of critiquing it in my head, but nonetheless, great show. Anytime Samuel L. Jackson is in something, it's gonna be a great show. I do want to say this: not the set design, but the costume team for Fight Night. Jesus, yo, who Samuel L. Jackson is playing Frank Moten in this show? My goodness. It's points in the show where you can't even tell that that's Samuel L. Jackson until it's like scenes where it's like real up close on his face and whatnot, and he start talking. When he first made his entrance onto the show, the swag, as the kids say, the aura that dripped off of him, like, it was insane. Like, I'm like, yo, this dude's a Don, like the Black Godfather. I didn't even know much about this story until when I saw that it was based on a true story. I went and did my research. What a show, though. You know what? I would say I was watching the episode 7 today or tonight. I watched the episode 7 tonight because they didn't release it at 12 in the morning like they should have yesterday. But I was watching episode 7 today, and I was watching Kevin Hart because he played Chicken Man in the show. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to be one of them people, but I'm about to be one of them people. I'm not telling you that Kevin Hart is doing a bad, because I like the show, but I do kind of feel like I see why Kevin Hart is in the role. Like, today's episode was probably my favorite as far as Kevin Hart in the show. His acting in the show. I'm not telling you he a bad actor, but I just can't get the comedic acting off of him. Like, I don't even understand it, because I done seen Samuel, Taraji, Terrence Howard. I done seen all these motherfuckers play in funny movies and be like comedic characters. But because they play so many serious roles, so many dramatic roles, one day Kev might get to that point, but right now, I just feel like they probably could have cast somebody, a different actor who was I don't even like saying that because I don't want to throw shade at Kevin Hart because he playing the role good. It's just parts in the show where I'm like, that probably could be acted better. Like, this would probably be such a better scene if this was played by a more dramatic actor. And I don't want to take that type of shot at Kevin Hart because he could end up becoming a great dramatic actor one day. But just right now, you could just, and this really gonna sound like shade, you could tell the difference in how great Kevin Hart is at acting and Sam, Taraji, Terrence Howard, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's a great acted show. I keep watching the show and I say to myself, every time I watch the show, I say to myself, boy, that boy Don Cheadle know how to play a white boy ass kissing ass dude. Boy, I tell black man, I'm telling you, boy. But anyways, it's a great show. It's on Peacock. If you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. I thoroughly enjoy the show right now. I think they said it's like a 9-episode series, so that means it's 2 episodes left. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. This is my type of show. It just got a little bit of everything in it for me right now. Plus, the actors and actresses are doing such a great job right now. The one thing, you know what? It is one more thing in this that is actually kind of annoying to me. I'm not going to lie to you. In one of the episodes, I can't remember if it was, I think it was in episode 5. Either 5 or 4. At the end of one of those episodes, Taraji P. Henson, her character was sitting in the house, in Chicken Man's house that had got broken into, or you just got to watch the show. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm probably going to end up spoiling parts of it for you. It was a scene at the end of one of the episodes where Taraji was sitting in a house and somebody knocked on the door. A man knocked on the door. You didn't know it was a man at first from the knock, but a man knocked on the door and then he said, "B, let me in this house." I think that was the line. Regardless, in that moment, I didn't really pay attention to the voice. I immediately thought that's got to be Terrence Howard's character, Cadillac. The only reason I thought that is because I'm saying to myself, Taraji and Terrence Howard done been on so many things together. It would make no sense to not have them on this show have an episode where they are with each other the entire episode, like having dialogue and whatnot, because we know how great those two are on screen together. You got Empire, you got Empire really is the big one, but I know a lot of people like what is the name of that movie? Hustle and Flow. And I think it's another one that they was in. They could have probably been in more together, but I know those is the main two that they done been in together, and we done seen their chemistry. Like, if they don't end up having scenes together in this show, man, that's gonna be annoying as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like I said, we know how great Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson are on screen together. We know how great that chemistry is. Now, I don't have a problem with David Banner's character, but he was the one who ended up having those scenes with Taraji. And I'm not telling you they were bad scenes or anything like that, but I really wish that it was Taraji and Terrence Howard. Aside from that, because that is actually my biggest problem with the show so far, that Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson haven't found a way to share the screen with each other yet on this show. Like, I feel like when you got Terrence and Taraji in the same show, same movie, it's mandatory that they have scenes together, at least one great scene together. Because Don Cheadle and Samuel Jackson star in Avenger movies together. They in Marvel together. And they had in that show, what's the name of that show that Samuel and him was just in? Secret Invasion. They was on that Disney Plus Secret Invasion show, and they had a little conversation in the kitchen. I mean, at the restaurant where Sam and Don Cheadle had a little scene. They basically had that scene again in this show. Even though this show, they probably was doing it on that Marvel show, it just didn't ring to me like this one did. When Frank and Don Cheadle's character was sitting down in the interrogation room, It kind of reminded me of that scene from the movie Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, where they sat down in the bar. It wasn't necessarily a bar, it was a diner. He said, a great man once told me, never let yourself get too attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 3 seconds flat if you feel the heat coming from around the corner. I'll never forget that scene. One of the best scenes in a movie I've ever seen. It's all the hype. I know people hype it up. If you've never seen the movie Heat, you gotta check it out. Now you might as well get you something good to eat, drink. If you're a smoker, get you something to smoke. If you're a drinker, get you something to drink, because it's a long movie. It's about a 3-hour movie. So it's one of them. But it's a great movie. To me, it's the best bank heist movie I've ever seen. I've never seen that movie with Ben Affleck. The bank heist movie with Ben Affleck, I've never seen that movie. The bank heist movie where the dudes are getting out of the car and the cop's sitting across the street and he see them and he make a business decision to look the other way, I have not seen that movie either. Now, a lot of people tell me those are great movies. I haven't seen them. So, and I like Ben Affleck as an actor. So, I couldn't really tell you why I haven't saw those movies. Actually, I'm pretty sure I could, but I'm not going to. I haven't seen either of those two movies. But I've seen the movie Heat multiple times. Great movie. But back to Fight Night, the $1 million heist. And the episode 7 is crazy. The end of episode 7 is nuts. I don't want to spoil some shit, but I'm about to spoil some shit. So, matter of fact, I'm about to tell you 3, 2, a spoiler is coming for Fight Night, the $1 million heist. In 3, 2, 1. Yo, the robbers who broke into the, it's a spoiler coming for multiple episodes, but specifically 7. The main robbers, the light-skinned dude, the dark, I can't remember their names at the moment, but it's 2 main robbers that's grown men and they got a minor with them. Yo. Just 3 dudes in it. Okay, so it's a dude who worked for Cadillac who set all this shit up. No, Cadillac set it all up, but his middleman basically is this other dude. I can't remember his name either. Emery or some shit like that. He hired these dudes. He was in, I guess he went to war with one of the robbers that he put on this job. All right. Cadillac want to take Frank's spot. So Cadillac told the dude, after the heist and all this been over, Cadillac told the dude to tie up all the loose ends, to basically kill the people attached or whatever. Make promises, but make sure you don't deliver on none of the promises. No. This dude they all end up in the Dolphin Club in Atlanta. And this is in Atlanta back in the day. Like, one of the funeral homes is owned by Bankhead. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. If you listen to T.I. and Atlanta rappers, you probably done heard that reference before. But listen, such a great show. Just the fact that they even had that in there. Like, I know people from Atlanta are loving this show for all like the little small details and references. But I wish it was a channel out there. Like, have y'all ever seen that channel, New Rockstar? They basically break down all the biggest white Hollywood movies. Like, they do some of the movies with black, but they're not really breaking down black movies. Like, shout out to Jessica Clemens. She did break down They Clone Tyrone. But, like, is it channel? If it is, I don't know. Is it channels out there? I'm not asking, do they have the quality of a New Rockstars? Because I know New Rockstars is a machine right now. Like, I remember New Rockstars when they first was starting out in the machine that they have become. So I don't need to find a channel that's just like already in their final steps. You know what I'm saying? I understand it take growth. But is it channels out there with somebody who is great at breaking down these shows that are more based in, like, that the biggest audience for certain shows is African Americans. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's people on YouTube who break down like the drug dealing shows and stuff like that. But I don't watch all those, because all those shows to me end up becoming the same shit once you don't watch 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I don't really care to see those breakdowns. I want to see breakdowns for shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Which is, it's kind of weird that New Rockstars ain't breaking this down, seeing as how Samuel Jackson is in it. I guess, I don't know. But anyways, I do wish I knew a channel that broke down this show, like pointing out all the Easter eggs, the small details that I might miss, because I know I'm missing some shit. As far as like details that might be hidden in the background and shit like that. But aside from that was just a thought that I had in my head. But anyways, great show. You should watch it if you haven't. Episode 7 was crazy. The little brother killed his big brother because he was influenced by the other robber to end up to turning on his big brother. So he ended up shooting his big brother. And the motherfucker even said, he told his bad influence, I thought he was gonna shoot you. But that's your brother and you just killed him for a nigga you don't even know. That was crazy to me. Then the dude who was gonna end up killing the big brother anyways, he all sad and shit because they was the one. He liked them Cadillac's middleman. I'm gonna call him Emery. Emery ends up killing, and I'm gonna just keep calling him Big Brother. I'm gonna say Big Brother, Little Brother, Light Skin. Those are 3 robbers. Emery is the one that's over them 3 basically, who gave those 3 the job, and then Cadillac is over Emery. Emery called Light Skin and told Light Skin, hey, kill the kid, so kill Little Brother, and he said, I'm gonna take care of Big Brother. Now Big Brother and Emery was in war together. They served together, and Big Brother saved Emery. Alright? When they get to this thing and Big Brother finally done realize, like, yo, because these dudes are idiots. Emery asked Light Skin, did you tie up the loose ends right in front of Big Brother? So Big Brother ended up saying, this Big Brother ended up saying, like, yo, what's the loose end? Then he said, like, is his little brother loose end? Then he said, am I loose end? So he pulled a shotgun. So now it's 2 motherfuckers, Big Brother and Light Skin they got guns on each other. Emery is standing there trying to defuse it, even though he the one. Big Brother don't know that Emery told them to call Light Skin and said kill. He want both of them dead. But he's starting to put piece of shit together now. But it really don't matter because Emery is sitting here talking, saying like, no, calm down, yada, yada, even though he know good and damn well he called and he was going to kill him eventually anyways. Or unless he was having thoughts about it. Because also, to say this, Light Skin was pointed a gun at Little Brother, but he never shot him. He couldn't bring himself to kill him. Because I think he started actually fucking with this little dude. He really saw this little dude as being his like little homie, like his protege. He had no plans of killing this motherfucker. And the dude, Emery, randomly called him and was like, you got killed, little bro. And then Light Skin even said, like, Light Skin is ruthless too. He been portrayed as a ruthless motherfucker throughout the entire show. He even said on the phone for the first time any type of emotion that came out of this motherfucker, he said, are you sure? Do I have to kill the kid? Like, that's the most emotion he has shown in the entire show. And he gonna show more emotion later on to prove that he really did fuck with this little dude. They having this standoff. A gunshot goes off. Little dude, we see little bro come through the curtain holding his gun like he just shot somebody. It point back to the other 3. He shot his big brother. So I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Why in the fuck would he do this? So he shoots his big brother as Emery is now holding Big Brother on the floor like, yo, you shot him, yada yada, and he dying. Emery pulls out a handgun and blasts Little Brother in the head. Mind you, Little Brother is a minor, tied up and all this shit. Mind you, Little Brother just fucked a woman who way older than him. So pedophilia just happened also. Anyways, after Emery shoots little bro, Emery's an idiot because he clearly did not realize how much Light Skin was fucking with this little dude. That should have told him everything he needed to know from the dude questioning him on the phone saying, did I have to kill him? Light Skin dude sees Emery shoot Little Brother in the head, and you could tell a switch went off in his head immediately because then he says, what's that saying about thieves? And then Emery looks up like a dumbass and says, how the fuck am I supposed to know? And Light Skin looks at him and says, exactly. And you know the saying is, it's no honor amongst thieves. That's what he meant. And he blasted him in the head. So execute all three. 2 dudes was executed basically, and the big brother was shot in the chest. I actually shocked that the big brother survived. Big brother was weird too because he was trying to like live a good change, but he really was wrapped. It's a weird thing, but it's actually a lot of. I don't have the time to go into it right now because this is not a. It might feel like it. It's a recap of this show because it's been 22 minutes. Nonetheless, just listen to me. It was a crazy scene. And then it was a shootout that happened with Light Skin and Don Cheadle's character. The shit was crazy. The shit was crazy. You gotta check the show out. It's called Fight Night, The $1 Million Heist. It's not on Amazon. It's on Peacock. I don't know if it's on anything else. I think it's a Peacock exclusive. I could be wrong, but that's where I've watched it on. It's an unbelievable show. I like it. If you watch it and you don't like it, don't tell me about it. To each his own. Now, that being said, let's get into the show. Even though technically the show started about 23 minutes ago. Now, you might look at the time on the video and be like, bro, it's not 23 minutes ago, it's longer than that. The actual show time right now is 23 minutes. The music and all the voiceover and stuff you hear in the beginning is not included in the time that I'm looking at on the recording. That comes after. You know what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. If you don't, you don't. But anyways, Tampa Bay, they lose to the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta in a phenomenal. I don't want to say phenomenal, but it was a great game. It was a great game. You know what this game showed me? No defense in the NFC is good defense. Give me a second though. Apologies for that long little wait right there. But I am back. The Bucs. You know, this was an interesting game to me because in the beginning of the game I said, neither defense came to play defense tonight. And I know the score did end up 30-36. And it went into overtime on a walk-off touchdown by the Bucs in overtime. Not the Bucs, by the Falcons in overtime. But I know some people are going to look at this score and be like, I done seen shootouts with higher scores. But this was a shootout, in my opinion. Like, neither defense really made real stops. The Bucs defense, the stops that they did make clearly didn't matter because when they needed the last 2 important stops, they did not get the overtime stop and the stop that could have prevented them from getting in field goal range. Like, to me, this it was no real defense being played in this game tonight, but it was a good game, and I'm not mad that no defense was being played. To be completely honest with you, the little bit of, this was one of those games where the defense was important in spots, and the defenses really didn't come through in spots. So it is what it is. But before I really get into the game, I had a conversation with somebody on Twitter today because they tweeted. Something about basically they was praising Baker and trying to say like, you know, I know this might sound crazy, but hey, Baker might have rewritten his story or some shit like that, basically praising Baker. And I responded, easier conference, easier division, don't have to play against Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, Stroud. None of those quarterbacks does he have to play against on a normal basis now. Doesn't have to play Ravens, Steelers, Bengals. twice a year anymore. It's a lot of things that go into why Baker midfield is good right now. I'm not taking anything away from what Baker is doing right now. Baker is playing good football right now. However, to try to say that Baker is playing on the level of, or Sam Darnold is playing on the level of a Lamar, a Mahomes, a Allen. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to use those three because those are the best three quarterbacks in the NFL. If you don't agree, I don't really know what to tell you. But to say that those quarterbacks are playing on the levels of like, or to compare them to quarterbacks, say, no, I'm going to use those three. To say that they like, we know a Lamar, a Allen, a Mahomes, they come in, year out, and they are great. They lived up to the expectations or surpassed expectations that were placed on them. Have all three of them won the ultimate team prize yet? No. But they have all exceeded expectations that were put on them when they came into this league. Baker Mayfield was the first pick in the draft. Sam was third. There's a lot of quarterbacks who have not lived up to the expectations, but then they carve out a good little career for themselves after they no longer have to play towards those expectations. When I was trying to explain to this dude, even though he kept saying, Baker playing good, bro, that's not my point. I don't care that Baker is playing good. You need to listen. See, some people just listen to you talk, but they're not listening to you talk. They're hearing you so they can know when they can respond. But they're not really listening to shit that you're saying. Because if he would have listened to me, I don't give a flying fuck about Baker playing good against the NFC. And I told him, Baker does not beat great teams or real Super Bowl contending teams. His response was, Baker just beat the Lions last week. I said, that does not matter to me. I said, for one, I picked the Bucs to win that game. I said, two, is it a Lamar over there? Is it a Mahomes? Allen? Hell, it's no Burrow over there. It's no Stroud over there. I don't understand what fans don't understand when it comes to good, great, decent. A good football team is the Lions. A Super Bowl contending team is the Bills, the Falcons, the Bills, the Niners, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bengals. Those are real Super Bowl contenders. Why? Because they have quarterbacks. They might have coaching, scheme. When I'm thinking about these NFC teams, like the Lions, like the Cowboys, like the Eagles, I'm not going to use Washington yet, but a lot of the good teams in the NFC, with the exception of two of them, to me, they are all the same. The Bucs, the Falcons, the Saints, all of them are the same team. On a week-to-week basis, you hope, you think you know what you're going to get, but you really don't. Why is that? Because none of them have great quarterbacks. The best you could, out of all the quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, all of them that had good moments in their career. For the most part, none of them have. Well, you would probably say Dak done been them. Well, I wouldn't. I really don't like that because you would be using a number conversation. But I mean, all of these quarterbacks to me in the NFC are basically the same quarterback. Baker, Dak, Jalen, these are all the same quarterbacks. Darnold is not. Darnold might have 11 touchdowns right now. I would not take Sam Darnold probably over any of them quarterbacks I just named. But nonetheless, to me, when you talk about real good great Super Bowl contending teams, that's the Chiefs, that's the Bills, that's the Ravens. I don't care if you look at the Bills and say, well, the Bills are missing this, the Bills are missing that. The Bills got Josh Allen. When you have a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, you are a Super Bowl contender. And not to mention, one of the things that I'm really having a hard time understanding why certain fans don't understand this, Baker Mayfield playing against the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff is not the same as Baker going into it don't even matter if he go into these buildings. They can go to him. But it's completely different than him having to play against a Pat Mahomes-led team. a Josh Allen led team, a Lamar Jackson led team, a Joe Burrow at times led team. I'm not using Herbert. A CJ Stroud led team. That's completely different than playing against some of those teams over there, if not all of the teams, but two really, that you play in the NFC. Like I said before, I only think it's two quarterbacks over there that I would call great quarterbacks who I see as quarterbacks that could be game changers, high tide type players for their teams in the future. And that's Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels. That's it. Every other quarterback over there, to me, is the same quarterback. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Brock Purdy. I do like Brock Purdy. He might not have the arm talent that some of these quarterbacks have, but he a great decision maker. He throw with great. Now listen, some people will say, do he throw with anticipation or do he just throw the ball to where exactly he know where people, because it's a great playbook, it's great play calling, everybody gets open. I understand all that. However, I done seen quarterbacks play in Kyle Shanahan's offense and not look as great as Brock Purdy. So Brock Purdy might not be Lamar, Mahomes, Allen. He might not be Burrow. But I really don't see that much of a difference between he and Burrow. I've been saying it for like 2 years. People love Joe Burrow, man. They put a lot of hype on him. I don't see the difference between Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy. I really don't. They both got a lot of talent around them. Hell, some people would say Joe Burrow is not even as accurate as Brock Purdy. Now, I understand people right now who would go crazy, like, oh, you crazy, Saint, you crazy. I mean, they both got the same career accomplishments right now. And that's a team accomplishment, getting to and losing a Super Bowl against a team that they were better than. I don't see the difference, but that's just me. But that's why I have a problem when people, have these conversations about, oh, Baker's so good. Oh, look at how he done turned his career around. Oh, look at Sam Darnold. Yeah, they play in the NFC. And if you cannot understand the difference between playing in the NFC right now and the AFC, then I don't know what you watch when you're watching these football games, because there's a very clear difference between the AFC and the NFC. The pool of average, mid to below average quarterbacks in the NFC is actually astounding to me. It's actually astounding. And to the people who would like to say, well, saying Caleb Williams is this and that, I don't know what Caleb Williams is. I'm going off of what I done seen so far. And what I done seen so far is not a generational quarterback. It's not a quarterback who I think is a generational looking quarterback. It's not even a quarterback who I think right now is a great quarterback. I'm not going to judge him yet because I'm still going to give him time. But he don't look as good as Jaden Daniels look. And Jaden Daniels is a rookie. So, you got Kyler Murray, who looked like he regressing. So, I'm not taking nothing away from Baker. I'm not taking nothing away from Sam Darnold. I'm not taking nothing away from these quarterbacks in the NFC. But the reality is, it's just not the same as it is in the AFC. So I'm not impressed with Baker and all these other quarterbacks who did not live up to the expectations they had on their first team, and start throwing them some type of crazy comeback party when they on their third, fourth, 15 having some type of success. It's absolutely crazy to me. But, like I said before, the NFC is wide open. If the 49ers get healthy, though, it's not wide open. But let's talk about the game. Kirko Chainz. He's back. Kirk Cousins, the stat line. 42 of 58. Now, you probably don't want Kirk Cousins throwing 58 passes. However, in this game, really did not mind him throwing that many passes because the Falcons' defense was ass. As was the Saints. I mean, as were the defense for the Falcons. The Falcons and the Bucs had bad defenses. Shout out to Jesse Bates, though. 2 forced fumbles, a big forced fumble in a key spot too that could have. The Bucs was looking to put the game away, and Jesse Bates had a fumble, man. That ain't do shit after he got the fumble. They went for it on 4th and 15 and missed out. And before the 4th and 15, Darnell Mooney dropped a pass that probably would have been a touchdown, but none of that matters because they ended up winning the game. Shout out Hodge, but. this game was all gas, in my opinion. A lot of offense. The best thing that I saw in this game, when this is what the Falcons envisioned this offense would be, when they sucked all them years and had all this talent and got Kirk this offseason, this was probably Kirk's best game as a Falcon. I mean, he was hitting everybody. Matter of fact, Drake London had 12 catches for 154 yards and a touchdown. Darnell Mooney had 9 receptions for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts had 7 catches for 88 yards. And Hodge had the game-winning touchdown catch. So the ball was going to everybody. Of course, they have Algier and Bijan Robinson in the backfield. Listen, you do have a ceiling with Kirk Cousins. I get that. But considering you got a ceiling with Jared Goff, you got a ceiling with Baker Mayfield, you got a ceiling with Sam Darnold, you got a ceiling with Dak Prescott, you got a ceiling with Jalen Hurts. Because all of these quarterbacks are basically quarterbacks that you feel like have ceilings, that's really not a problem right now because Jordan Love is still making dumbass decisions. And Jaden Daniels is young. He's a rookie. So you can get away with having quarterbacks to have a ceiling right now, to be completely honest with you, in the NFC. Unless Brock Purdy is one of them boys. Then you got a problem because he already good. But when you look at all of these weapons that the Falcons, and that's the thing I've been saying, in the NFC, the quarterback play, I'm not going to say it don't matter because obviously quarterback play do matter. But when you look at all of these quarterbacks, and it's really no great separation between all of them in the NFC, look at the weapons. All of these motherfuckers got weapons. The Falcons got weapons. The Bucs got weapons. The Eagles have weapons. They hurt, but they got weapons. The Cowboys got weapons. The Saints have weapons. All of these teams have. The Seahawks have weapons. The Niners have weapons. The Packers have weapons. Like, the Vikings have weapons. The quarterback play in the NFC ain't great, but boy, the talent at those skill positions is insane. So, when it comes down to it, it's really what quarterback can play the best on any given week in the NFC right now for me, because every single one of them have great supporting cast around them offensively. Defense doesn't really matter in the NFC because every defense can look great on any given week playing against NFC teams, because you can play Baker Mayfield, he lights you up one night for 300, then turn around the next week and give you 3-4 interceptions. So, same with Darnold, same for Goff, same for Hurts, same for Dak. Like, I really don't know what the fuck to make of the NFC right now. I'm being completely honest with you. As great as this game was tonight, this game to me was more concerning than anything if you were an NFC team thinking that your team is... Like, you know how many Bucs fans came into this game thinking that they was winning this game, because not just because they Bucs fans, because they really thought that they were just the better team. You know how many Falcons fans came into this game thinking they're going to win this game, not because they really thought they had a chance, because they really thought they were the better team. The only reason so many of these teams in the NFC think that they legitimately a better team is because all of these teams are basically the same team, except for one. That's the Niners. And I don't even know how long I can keep saying that. You look at Detroit. Look at all the talent Detroit has. Look at all the... I mean, it's... Listen, the Niners are a couple bad Brock Purdy starts away from me saying all these teams in the NFC, every single one are the exact same. Now, I know that's exciting for a lot of motherfuckers who rock with the NFC, but it ain't exciting for me if I was an NFC team. It'll be very irritating because you wouldn't know what to expect on a week-to-week basis. Dead ass. And then not to mention, I said this last year, I don't know what it does for a team to beat up on bad teams all year, or to beat teams that you might think are good but really aren't compared to the real Super Bowl contenders. Because I said it last year. I said before the 49ers got to the Super Bowl, I think it was like week 7 where I was like, the 49ers are 100% getting to the Super Bowl in the NFC. There's no other NFC team that's not even just because they got by far the best roster. There's no quarterback in the NFC that's going into San Fran and winning. It's no quarterback in the NFC that I trust, like, that can put on a performance that's greater than the sum of his parts, like a Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. So that's why I had picked the 49ers to get there. But I said before they even got there, I kept saying for multiple weeks, they're going to get there. But if they got to play Baltimore, Bills, or if they got to play any team in the NFC and the AFC that's going to the playoffs, that's one of those top, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. And I was right. Not because I'm some guru or some shit like that. It's just common sense if you just watch these teams play. The NFC gets to play, and if you just pay attention, then you really do your homework. The NFC ain't playing against Pat Mahomes. The NFC is not playing. Yeah, they might have to go play Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs or the Ravens or something like that once a year, but they not having to play the Cowboys and the Eagles in that division. They might finally have to play against a legitimate great quarterback on a year-to-year basis now. And if they do, that will make their team better. Because now you have to build a team to stop a great quarterback. Not just a team that can beat a bad team in your division. Or a team that's got a lot of talent but no real quarterback at the helm. Or like a Jimmy Garoppolo-led 49ers. Now, you got to take on teams like... See, and I think that's the biggest problem with the NFC. Because over the last couple years, they haven't had a Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. They haven't had C.J. Stroud. They haven't had any of those type of quarterbacks in the NFC for the most part. Tom Brady retired, and so they haven't had to deal with that quarterback. Because think about it like this. If Pat Mahomes, if any of those top three quarterbacks played in the NFC, do you know how insanely great their record would be on a regular basis? Think about this. Lamar, Mahomes, and Josh Allen, those are 12-plus win teams a year in the AFC. By far a harder conference. Imagine what these motherfuckers would do if they played in the NFC. With some of the talented NFC teams, you swap those quarterbacks out and put one of those three on it. Could you imagine the dominance that Lamar Jackson done lost one game to an NFC opponent, and he should have won that game. I would really like to see Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen's record against the NFC. To me, like I said, as good as a game like this was tonight, it's just a constant reminder to me the NFC is garbage. And I'm not saying garbage in a bad way. I'm saying garbage when it comes to playing against a Baltimore, Chiefs, Bills. And not even playing against those teams as much as you got to compete against those quarterbacks at the helm. I just don't find myself at any point in time thinking, yeah, I got faith in any of those NFC teams over any of the AFC teams because of the quarterback play. Now, I understand Kirk Cousins can have a game like this. The chances of it being against Lamar, Mahomes, Allen is slim to none. It's just, when you play, I can't really explain it. You just got to watch it to understand it. And if you watch football, then you already understand it. It's just a difference when a team is led by a quarterback like those three compared to those misfit toys over there in the NFC. And that was disrespectful. Okay, that was too far. That's on me. That's on me. I apologize, fellas. That's on me. That was uncalled for. Unnecessary. Highly unnecessary. Highly. But, with that being said, listen, you see the Falcons do what they do tonight. They could come out next week and, like they did the week before that, and not score an offensive touchdown. That's the thing. It's no consistency. You don't know what you're getting on a week-to-week basis. Baker threw for 300-something yards last week. He threw for 183 tonight. And obviously, you know me. I don't give a fuck about the stats like that. But I'm pointing out how up and down these teams are on a week-to-week basis. And a lot of that have to do with this not a real... This is why I always say you need a big dog in every conference. And right now, the NFC's big dog is the 49ers. However, the 49ers are not a big dog made in the image of a legitimate big dog. A big dog don't have to have all that talent that the 49ers have. Look at the Chiefs. Look at the Bills. Look at the Ravens. I know all of those teams have talent or have had talent. None of those teams have been as stacked with talent as the 49ers. The Ravens will probably be the closest, but that's because of defensive players, not because of offensive players. So, I'm not trying to, pour spoiled milk in the cereal of NFC team. If you rep an NFC team, I'm not trying to pour spoiled milk in your cereal, especially if you're you're a Falcon fan that just won tonight. Mind you, I like that little retro-looking Falcons field tonight. That was pretty tough. But, listen, I just would like to see one of these NFC teams. See, this is the thing. The reason a lot of people look at the Niners the way they look at them, because the Niners look like the most consistent team in the NFC on a week-to-week basis, on a year-to-year basis at this moment. The Eagles had one good year. They've been looking rough ever since. The Cowboys, we know what to expect from them. I could tell you we know what to expect from the 49ers, but people need to believe somebody is the big dog in the NFC. But like I said, they're not a big dog made in the image of a legitimate big dog. So, I feel like I just took 30 minutes or so shitting on the NFC instead of really going over the game. But you got to understand, the game, listen, it was an NFC matchup. Like, I know this was an NFC South matchup, but this was a typical NFC matchup for me. Did you watch the Seattle Seahawks? And any team that you think is a good team in the NFC, the game will probably look like this. Not too much defense being played. Defense is struggling to get real stops or key stops, like the Monday Night Football game between Seattle and Detroit. It'll be more so offense is doing stupid shit that cost them games or making mistakes that cost them more than it is the defense. Like Aiden Hutchinson is a great player. Aiden Hutchinson ain't why the Detroit Lions won that game Monday night. At this point right now, the NFC is a lot of offense, a lot of calls from these refs, and a lot of bad defense in spots. So, if I had to rank, this is exactly why I said a couple weeks ago, Detroit and the Bucs are the exact same team. That's why I picked Detroit to lose that game, because I was like, I know people love Jared Goff. Jared Goff and Baker to me are no different than each other. Like, these are the same teams. And the Bucs won. Like, that's what I now, seemingly, the only team that's really, I'm not going to do that to him. But if I had to rank, like, and this is excluding Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love, because clearly I feel like those are the best quarterbacks in the NFC. They're going to be the best quarterbacks eventually. If I had to rank the best quarterbacks right now out of all the mid quarterbacks in the NFC, I think first I would probably take Stafford, then Baker, then Hurts. No. I take Stafford, then Kirk Cousins, then Baker. I really want to take Dak next. But the reason I cannot take Dak on good conscience. So let me tell you what my dilemma is. I want to take Dak or Jalen Hurts, right? Because Jalen Hurts done beat great quarterbacks. He done beat great quarterback-led teams. However, Jalen Hurts, without that talent around him right now, is not playing great football. And if you are that, now we already done, obviously I don't think he's a high-tide type of player. That's why he is in this group of quarterbacks we're talking about. But Jalen's resume to me make me want to put him over Dak. Because Dak's gaudy numbers when the game is over don't matter to me. But I think Dak is the better pure thrower of the football than Jalen Hurts. I think Dak played the quarterback position better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is just the better leader and the better winner, I guess you could say. But he got a lot of talent, but it ain't like Dak ain't had talent also. I really don't know who to put next. It's Jalen and Dak next, but Sam Darnold is not going to make the list. I felt like I should say that. Sam Darnold will have to throw for like 40 touchdowns this year for me to have any type of faith in Sam Darnold. And him throwing for 40 touchdowns wouldn't even give me faith in him. I would just say, okay, now next year he need to throw for 30, and then maybe my opinions on him will change. It's the same quarterback that said he was seeing ghosts mid-game. The NFC said, oh, man, I forgot Jared Goff. So let me do this. Stafford, Kirk, Goff, Baker. That's probably how I would take him out of all the mid quarterbacks right now. Goff and Baker is interesting. I'm a little lenient. I'm leaning Goff because of my bias. You see how I like to tell you when I'm being biased? Because obviously I was a Rams fan, or I like the Rams, so Jared Goff played for the Rams. Now he didn't do really shit for the Rams to make me be loyal to him, but you know, it is what it is. He wore the colors. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Let's get back to the game. Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns in this game. It just feel like dudes was running wide open for the majority of the game. It just don't feel like most dudes was covered. Now, it was stops in this game to be had and whatnot. At the end of this, it was a play in this where Levante Davis, he ended up getting an interception on this play. But he got a pass interference on this play at one point in time, too. And he was looking like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? And then they showed the replay, and I'm like, buddy, calm down. Calm down. It was definitely a pass interference. But my biggest concern right now, every single defense in the NFC that's not a defense led by that's not the 49ers defense, basically. Because none of these defenses, I don't feel like you could really trust or rely on any of these defenses right now. I'm going to keep it a whole bucket with you. Every defense seemed to have a player or two on it. It just don't seem like any of them really. I don't feel like I could. You know what would be interesting? If the Bears offense find a way to be consistent, I'm interested to see what their defense. Now, I love Green Bay's defense. That would be the defense. Them and I don't even know why I didn't say them. Green Bay and the 49ers. The only defenses that I really like or have any type of faith in. I know a lot of people will hear me say Green Bay and go to town. Just watch the games and you'll understand why I said Green Bay's defense. The only reason Green Bay's defense even got a bad rap is because Aaron Rodgers was over there. His last year, I'll continue to say it, they did not miss the playoffs because of that defense. The defense did more than enough to win them games that year. It was Aaron Rodgers. The fact that people did not want to say that it was Aaron Rodgers that whole year is crazy. People even talking about Matt LaFleur. I'm like, Jesus Christ. What's Matt LaFleur going to do? What can he do? Nonetheless, this was supposed to be me breaking down the Monday Night Football game. It ended up me breaking down the NFC. I like the Falcons. I like what I saw from the Falcons. They run the ball. They didn't have the greatest run game tonight, but you imagine if the Falcons can run the ball at a high clip, run the ball good, not even necessarily at a high clip, just be great at running the ball with Algier and Robinson. You have all that talent on the outside, and you have a talented tight. I like the Falcons' weapon. That's why I said they should have got Lamar Jackson a couple years ago. But obviously, you don't know what to expect from Kirk Cousins on a week-to-week basis. But if Kirk Cousins can just be good, the Falcons are going to make the play. I actually think the Falcons and the Bucs are going to make the playoffs. I think in the NFC, the Falcons, the Bucs, the Lions, the Niners, the Seahawks. Because I think the Seahawks and I think two divisions going to have both wild cards. Going to have one wild card apiece. I think the NFC South and the NFC West got both of the wild card teams. The Seahawks or the 49ers, I don't know who win in that division, but one of them is going to make the wild card. And between the you know what? The NFC South could end up having 3 fucking teams in the playoffs this year. And that would be crazy because only one team made the playoffs last year in that division. But that's not even the craziest part. The craziest part is no team in that division finished over 500 but the Bucs. And they only finished over 500 by 1 fucking game. If they didn't have to play against all them sorry-ass teams in their division twice a year, they probably don't finish over 500. So, very interesting. But this year, the Saints could make the playoffs. I'm saying the wild card, but the wild card is technically the playoffs too. But the Saints, the Bucs, and the Falcons could all make it. That would be very interesting. Because I don't think the Washington, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, 2 teams not making the playoffs in that division. I actually think the Giants will remain ass. I think Dallas is about to become ass before your very eyes. And the Eagles is probably ass in a lot of people's eyes right now. But when they get healthy, I still think they're going to be an average. I don't really know what to expect from the Eagles even when they're healthy because it just seemed like people done figured out that offense now. And I don't really see any type of innovation in that offense. Not to mention, I don't really think it's an offense that's like sophisticated. What do you mean, Saint? Well, I watched Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson play, right? And they really play alike to me. Like, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes, to me, they all play alike. They all got special things about them that they do more special than the other. But to me, all 3 of them basically play the same. When I'm looking at them, I really hate that I keep using these 3 as the basis to judge these other quarterbacks. But it is what it is. Matter of fact, fuck it. I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to stay with these NFC teams or these NFC quarterbacks. The basis of it all is this. Kirk Cousins in this offense with all these weapons and whatnot, once again, could care less about any of the defenses in the NFC at this very moment. Probably will change later on this season, but at this very moment, could care less about all it. I'll be more interested in these defenses like Week 10 when I can see exactly what they are. But Kurt end up, I mean, I could say this about every team what I'm about to say about the Falcons, but Kurt go on a little run, man. The Falcons could do something. But you could literally say that about every team in the NFC, which is the point of the show. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. You could be anything in this world, so please choose to be kind to somebody today. Give somebody a hug, a smile, a laugh. You never know what somebody's going through. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. I appreciate you. I fuck with you. I love you. Saint out.
Really, the explosion was just a metaphor. A metaphor for anger within our hearts. Because the white man...
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.